One of the most important responsibilities of a financial advisor is to plan a retirement strategy. In financial terms, retirement is known as the decumulation or drawdown phase. Garrett Harbron is an expert on retirement strategy at Vanguard Asset Management. He says it's at this time in a client's life that having a good financial advisor will really come into its own.
If you had to make me choose between what is more important as far as advice goes, the accumulation phase or the decumulation phase, I would say unequivocally the decumulation phase. If you think about all of the things that go into a successful decumulation through retirement, how much can I spend? When do I take it? How do I take it? Which buckets do I take it out of? How do I manage my tax impact? If you think about all of those things and all of the things you need to think about to be truly successful in a retirement spending strategy, that's much, much more complicated than the accumulation phase.
There's been a great deal of research into retirement strategy in recent years, and Vanguard is one of the companies at the forefront of what's sometimes called the science of retirement.
For a long time, we didn't really give a whole lot of thought to what retirement spending looked like because we didn't really have to. Most people were covered by a DB plan, state pensions, Social Security was arguably a little bit more generous than it is today. People weren't expected to provide for their own retirement to the extent that they're expected to now. And this is being compounded by the fact that the baby boomers are retiring, so we have more people retiring each year. People are living longer. The concept of a 40-year retirement 30 years ago was completely foreign. Today, it's very much a reality.
When planning a client's retirement spending, many advisors in the past have relied on something called the 4% rule. That means the amount the client takes out of their portfolio every year is fixed at 4% of its value on retirement, with annual adjustments for inflation.
There's been a lot of talk lately about, is the 4% rule dead? And based on our research, at least in the UK, we don't feel like it is. When we run our numbers and do our simulations for the 4% rule and measure it against an 85% portfolio success rate, that is over 10,000 simulations, the portfolio has money left after 30 years, 85% of the time, we find that the maximum sustainable spending rate is actually 4.17%, so a little bit over that 4% mark.
So the 4% rule is still valid, but there are alternatives which may suit you better. And bear in mind, this is a highly specialised field, so it pays to ask a financial advisor to explain the options to you.